Guys, looks like you guys kind of have an idea. Most of you guys chose A, concrete. A few of you guys chose B, lyric. Quite a few of you guys chose limerick. And one person chose haiku. All right, so that's good news for us because that means most of you guys probably understand and know what this is all about. Go ahead and put your clickers back on top of your Washington State history books until we need them again. All right. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about concrete poems. And the purpose of today's lesson is that students will be able to identify and describe the characteristics of a concrete poem. I've given you kind of an example of a concrete poem there. Let's go into our first activity. What I would like you to do right now is just take a few minutes on your own to look over this poem by E.E. Cummings. And remember what I talked to you about this morning about sometimes it's a matter of unlocking the mystery of the poem. And some of you guys that can't see the board very good, I've got some. All right, guys, we're going to go to this next slide here real quick. And what I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to take your clickers, and I would like you to go ahead and answer this question here. It says, how well do you understand this poem? A, I totally get it. B, I kind of understand it. Or C, I'm confused. And I'll know you're finished with that once you put your clickers back on top of your Washington State history books. Thank you, guys. We got everybody. The movie tells me we got everybody. Let's see what some of our responses were. So it would appear that 14 of you guys are saying, I kind of understand it. 2 of you guys say, I totally get it. And 10 of you guys at this point in time say that I'm confused. Now, I want to tell you guys that this isn't a matter of basically saying, of me looking at the results here and saying, you know, okay, so there's not a lot of smart people in this room. That's not really what we're trying to accomplish here. What we're trying to accomplish here with this slide is basically to tell you guys that poems are difficult. They are difficult. And like we were talking a little bit about it this morning, we were saying it's a mystery. You almost have to be a detective to figure out some of the meaning. And part of that is the effort that's been placed on it by those by the authors of those poems. And here we have a great example of E.E. Cummings, and he's coming out and he's giving you an example. He's put a lot of effort into his poem, and based on his effort, he wants you to apply almost the similar amount of effort to try to decipher what it is that he's trying to say. And when you do get it and you do figure it out, then you go, oh, totally makes sense. Now, I got to be honest with you guys. I was given this poem by Mr. Pierce. And I'm going to tell you, I was right here for a while. I was sitting here looking at that poem going, what in the world is it trying to say?
And I was too the first time I saw it.
And Mr. Pierce was too.
Yep.
And so I'm in this category with the 10 of you guys over here. I'm with you. Because at first I'm going, I don't even get it, and as I was looking at this part right here, I was lost just right there. Any of you guys lost just at the title?
That's the only part of him lost at.
That's the only part you are lost at? So I was there at the title and I was going, what? Because what do you expect? So I'm seeing this little parenthesis. What do you expect on the other side? Another parenthesis, right? So immediately I was like, this does not compute. Like it just is not going. It's not going over very well for me. Say, sir.
With the O, E, and A, you can spell.
Don't give it away yet. You're trying to give it away. I knew it. All right. So what I would like you guys to do right now is I'd like you to take a look at this, and again on your own. I want you to pay attention. Look at the title. So look at the title up here. And then after taking a look at the title, look at the letter arrangement. And a lot of times with concrete poems, there's a significant meaning behind how they arrange their letters. And then, take a look at the subject matter. And in this case here, they're talking about something specific. And then as you're looking at it, pay attention to the shape of the subject or the form. And in this case here, punctuation is used, and it's used in a manner that really creates a different kind of picture for you. I'm hearing a few people go, oh. I'm hearing it. Some of you guys are seeing it now. Raise your hand if your thinking has changed just by paying attention to a few of these things. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you feel like you got it, like you're getting it, you're gaining more knowledge now. Okay. So, now what I would like you to do is, based on what you just saw there, I want you to use your clickers and see if we've changed it at all by utilizing some of those tools. Once again, I'll know you're finished when your clickers are on top of your books. Just waiting on a couple more people to get finished up. Okay, good. All right, let's see what the results are now. Oh, we've got it moving a little bit. Some people came to an aha moment. Some of you guys are still at B, I kind of understand it. We got 5 more people that moved up to I totally get it now. But we still got a few that are confused. So let's see if we can't kind of help those people who are confused. Is there any way we can kind of give them a hint? For some of you guys that totally get it, is there any way we can kind of give them a little bit of a hint to push them on? A small hint. Austin?
Look at it sideways.
Say a little bit louder.
Look at it sideways.
Look at it sideways.
The other one.
No.
You have to move the letters though. You have to move the letters with your head.
Would any of those things we used, the hints that we used just a second ago, would any of those be useful in giving a hint? Any of these be useful in giving a hint, Kimberly? What? Letter arrangement, she says. I wonder what would happen if you took what's written vertically and wrote it out horizontally. Try doing that.
That's what I just said.
Try doing that. Say sorry. I know you're trying to give out your answer. I know you're trying to. We're gonna do that where everybody's gonna yell out. Say sorry's the smartest kid in the class. Okay. Try writing it horizontally, guys. So if you're one of those people that are in that category where you're like, I'm still confused, write it out like this, just completely horizontal. Write out what they've written out. Just rewrite it.
So that's the only part that I don't know. I get the L-A, I just don't get the one L.
Are you talking about this one up here?
No,
The bottom.
Right here?
Yeah.
So this one L here?
No, like that whole, like after the parentheses, that whole part of it.
This whole part right here?
Yeah.
Did you write it out?
Yeah.
Maybe we can see if somebody else has an interpretation of that. I'm curious now. I'm curious as to find out whether or not some of your guys' thoughts have changed as a result. I'm going to redo that question one more time. Go ahead and answer it now and see what see what the results are. See if we've changed. See if we've got less than 7 now that have got it. Did you write it out? Did you already figure it out? Did you write it out horizontally? Oh, somebody doesn't want to learn about poetry. Interesting, guys, that as I'm finding that some people that are still confused about this they made that choice not to write it out horizontally. Remember when we were talking about this morning that there are some people out there that when it comes to poetry, they just don't want it. They're kind of scared of it. And once again, this is one of those parts where I told you guys, be stubborn about the process of learning and discovering the meaning of poetry. Find the pleasure, find the joy, find the happiness of being able to solve the puzzle and the meaning behind it. Let's see what we got right now. So how many do we have now still confused? We got 5. I wonder how many of those 5 wrote it out horizontally. All right, so when we come back to this here, let me get rid of that results there. So does anybody see, what were the words that you saw that were spelled out? Josie? A leaf falls. Does everybody see it now? A leaf falls. So inside the parentheses, you can see a leaf falls. Right? Now, the next part was part of the process that Austin was kind of going. He was like, I don't get this last part here. I get the leaf falls, but I don't get the last part. Did anybody make that connection to the last part? Lenny?
Loneliness?
What'd you say?
Loneliness?
Loneliness.
How's that loneliness? What?
So when you take this L and attach it to here, it becomes loneliness.
Oh, that's what that was.
No, you know what I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about that time where you're bogged down in a video game and you have absolutely no clue where you're supposed to go, and then all of a sudden you turn around a corner and you see there's the door that you're supposed to go into. You've spent 30 minutes trying to find that door and it was there all along, right?